Let's get started. Call the September 6, 2023 Historic Preservation Commission meeting to order at 6:30. Roll call. May we have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Barkley? Here. Commissioner Weinberger? Here. Commissioner Gonzalez?
Here.
Commissioner Harlow?
Here.
Commissioner Prisby?
Here.
Commissioner Elder is absent, and Chairman Bonin is absent.
Okay, so with Chairman Bonin absent, the commission requires a temporary chairman for this meeting. Is there any commissioner willing to make a motion to appoint me as the chairman pro tem?
I move to appoint Jim Prisby as Chairman Pro Tem for the September 6, 2023 Historic Preservation Commission meeting.
Second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Barkley? Aye. Commissioner Weinberger?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Chairman Pro Tem Prisby.
Aye, reluctantly. Okay, so it was kind of note from staff that need to remind everyone that we need an affirmative vote of 4 for everything tonight. So I know we have 5 people here, but we still need 4 for everything. Let's get right to the minutes. The next order of business is approval of the minutes. Due to the rescheduled meeting in July, we have 2 sets of minutes to approve this evening. First, for the July 20th, 2023 minutes, are there any corrections to that meeting?
I did not see any.
No. None.
Sarah, anything?
No.
Okay, great. Do we have a motion for the meeting minutes for July 20th, 2023?
I move to approve the meeting minutes for July 20, 2023 as submitted.
Second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Barkley?
Aye.
Commissioner Weinberger?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Chairman Prisby.
Aye. And then the second set is from August 2nd, 2023 meeting. Are there any corrections to the minutes for that meeting? I had none.
I had none.
No.
This is really easy. So do we have a motion?
I move to approve minutes from the August 2nd, 2023 meeting as written.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Barkley?
Aye.
Commissioner Weinberger?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Chairman Prisby.
Aye. All right, first thing, public hearing. This is for case HPC 18-2023, consideration of properties for inclusion on the historically significant structures property list in the Historic Overlay District, Round 5. Let's see here. So this is the 5th list of properties brought before us for review. Do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
I move to open public hearing for case HPC 18-2023, consideration of properties for inclusion on historically significant structures property list in the Historic Overlay District.
Second?
Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Barkley? Commissioner Weinberger?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Chairman Prisby.
Aye. So during this public hearing, we will consider various properties proposed for inclusion on the historically significant structures property list in the Historic Overlay District. If anyone in the audience wishes to speak on this matter in general or regarding any particular property on the list, please stand, raise your right hand, and be sworn in. The court reporter, will you please do this? Anyone? Come on, Michael.
Is this for all night or just?
No,
for this?
just this one.
Just for this. Okay. Staff overview?
So this is our 5th round of properties up for consideration for our historically significant structures list. To remind the commission, we have 2 properties being brought forward today. I'll go through each of them. To remind the commission, we are supposed to be determining if these properties meet at least one of the criteria listed in section 14-7-3, which I believe was Exhibit 4 in your packets. And all we need to do is determine if one of them are. So if there are any questions, I can move forward and go through the properties, and then we can determine if there's any commentary.
Okay, Great.
Okay, so the first property that we have on the list today is 108 South Adams Street. This property is located on the west side of town in the R4 Single Family District. It's believed that this house was constructed in 1876 and features the Italianate architectural style. It was determined in the reconnaissance survey that was done in 1999 as significant. And because of its location, it wasn't added into any other surveys, just because of its location in the village after the reconnaissance survey. But we are lucky enough that the homeowner and the Historical Society have given us a vast amount of information on this house. It was actually previously occupied by Mr. Hess, who was pretty monumental in, I hope this is working, pretty monumental in the beginning of Hinsdale's history. So they did provide quite a bit of information and background. This house is also for sale if anyone in the audience would like to purchase it. And it does have a Hinsdale Historical Society plaque already. So we do have quite a bit of information on this house. And that some of the material in here was also included, doesn't want to let me show it to you, was included in some of the marketing materials for its current sale.
Anyone?
This was a lot of fun history, this one.
A lot.
And I should mention, it was also a house, I believe, designed by Oliver Stow, who was instrumental in a lot of the original home designs in town.
So I would say that it meets 1, 2, and 5.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any other criteria, or should we move on to the next one? Okay. So the next property on our list for consideration tonight is 322 North Garfield Avenue. This is actually just up the block from Village Hall, located in the R4 Single Family District. It's believed to also be constructed in 1869, so it's a pretty early build as well, and it features the L-form architecture. This house has been pretty documented as well. It was considered significant and historically significant in the 1999 reconnaissance survey, and is contributing in the North Hinsdale survey from 2005. We are lucky also that we were given additional information from the homeowner and historical society, and this house and its history was also referenced in one of Mary Sterling's books. So we did have a lot of information on this house as well. And I believe this was also a house designed by Oliver Stow or constructed by him. And we were lucky, we did have some old photos. I think we didn't have exact dates on some of these photos, but I know this, obviously, it's Polaroids a little bit earlier.
So because of Oliver Stow, I would say it meets criterion number 2.
I think I would add 3. It's on a major, it's on Garfield. It stands out. It's pretty true to its original facade.
So we're thinking 2 and 3? Okay.
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 And those are the houses up for inclusion. I am working with at least 6 or 7 or more other property owners for coming forward in the future. So
Great.
we still have quite a bit of interest and more people coming.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Are there any members of the public that wish to speak on this matter or any particular property tonight? Right, terrific. At this time, unless anyone has anything further to say, we are going to close the public hearing, and the commissioners will discuss this matter. Do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
I move to close public hearing for case HPC 18-2023, consideration of properties for inclusion on the historically significant structures property list in the historic overlay district.
Second.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Barkley? Aye. Commissioner Weinberger?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Chairman Prisby?
Aye. Motion carries.
And so we are-
All right. Next thing to do, Bethany? Do we have to?
The next thing to do is, as of right now, no one stated any conflicts of interest.
No.
So we can move forward with making the group recommendation, which is on, I believe, page 2 of your packet, to group them together. So someone can make that motion towards the bottom of page 2,
Okay, so we need someone to make a motion and just
just to approve
include
them.
for
Yep.
all, for both.
Mhm.
Do we have a motion?
So I move to recommend to the village board approval of the following properties for inclusion on historically significant structures property list in historic overlay district under case HPC 18-2023, 108 South Adams Street and 322 North Garfield Avenue.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Barkley?
Aye.
Commissioner Weinberger?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Chairman Prisby?
Aye. Motion carries. All right, next thing we're on to is signage for tonight. The next item on the agenda is case A27-2023, a sign permit review for Images Med Spa at 22 West First Street. Would the applicant please come to the podium and provide a brief overview of the project? Please state your name for the record.
Hi, my name's Robbie Whitehead. I'm with Olympic Sign Company out of Lombard. Thank you for having me. Proposing 2 different types of sign displays here after working with Bethany, who's been amazing, as always. First is the wall sign, non-illuminated dimensional letters applied to the facade. That facade will be painted by the client prior to application of the letters. The sign on the side of the building is a simple reface, so repainting the frame and then installing an aluminum panel within that frame. Lights will not be touched, lights will remain. Those are low temperature lights now, so not very vibrant, shining down on the display. I'd be happy to answer any questions or anything pertaining to this.
Anyone?
I don't have any questions.
You thought it was pretty straightforward?
Very straightforward.
Frank?
So, just to be clear, you mean the inside of the sign will be painted, is that right?
I'm sorry?
Did you say that the inside of the sign will be painted? Is
The frame around the sign.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that frame exists, we're simply changing the insert.
Oh, I see, okay.
I had no issues with it, so
Fine,
No.
thought it was perfect.
fine.
So are there any members of the public that wish to speak on this matter tonight? Didn't think so. Anyone else, any comments, other further deliberation?
Looks good.
I think it looks great.
Fine.
Do we have a motion to push this forward?
I move to approve case A 27-2023, 22nd West First Street, Images Med Spa, sign permit review, installation of 2 wall signs.
Second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Barkley?
Aye.
Commissioner Weinberger?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Chairman Prisby?
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is case HPC-15-2023, 24 East 8th Street, a preservation incentive for a historically significant structures property, request for alternative bulk zoning regulations, fee waivers and expedited processing for the construction of a rear and side addition on the existing single-family home. Again, would the applicant please come to the podium and provide a brief overview of the project and state your name for the record.
Hi, Michael Whalen, with my wife Grace and our architect Jenna Edelmeyer from Michael Abraham We're the homeowners at 24 East 8th. I think the description sort of summed up what we want to do. There's somewhere in this packet, rough of the elevations that shows the side addition and the rear addition, and our goal is just, there you go, to expand the living space above and get some more room in the kitchen, just to make it a home that we can grow into. We have 3 young kids, and hopefully the extra space gets us there, and we think it will. We love the home. We love everything about it, and we especially love what Jenna has been able to do for us, so I think maybe I pass to her now.
My name is Jenna Edelmeyer. I work with Michael Abraham Architecture and the homeowners, Michael and Grace Whalen. I think Bethany did a great job summing up sort of our scope of project. We're really interested in the bulk relief regulations that the HOD has allowed this property to, benefit from. So rear yard, FAR requirements, and somewhat the side yard, but we're really here to try to show that everybody is very interested in preserving the structure and preserving the look from the street, the rear yard space, allowing still backyard space to play for the kids, light to get into the house, without being sort of in your face and keeping with the structure of the home.
Can you go back one, Bethany, to
This one?
that one? Yeah. So I think you can see it's pretty drastic. The size of the lot is, just to bring up, it's one of the 4 smallest lots in all of R2 in Hinsdale. There's only 3 lots smaller, so it's more like did I say R4? It's R2, so. So the rear yard, just to reiterate, the 3 things we really want is the rear yard relief. You can see it cuts through the middle of the house, so it makes it almost impossible to do anything. We don't really need the side yard relief. The next biggest thing we need is the FAR relief, just again because of the size of the lot, to make minimal additions to the kitchen and the master bath upstairs. The third thing that we really need, I guess, your approval on, regardless of whether I think as you see in there, we're looking for an additional 3 feet on the side. That's just to make that room more livable, which we're going to apply for variance for, but we need your blessing, hopefully, on the look of it. In other words, we're gonna do this addition almost, I don't know, can you go to the the front elevation? Whether it's that or something a little smaller, we will still need you to approve the appearance of this.
And we need
Either
to do
as
this
drawn here.
before the variation, correct?
So the way we've set it up is we wanted to have the HPC review this first, make sure that it meets our criteria for the preservation incentives, and your motion would reflect and say, subject to approval by the ZBA. So they would still be contingent upon getting that ZBA approval.
Correct.
But that would basically allow them to utilize the HOD, the Historic Overlay District Alternative Zoning Regulations, so they would not need to, for example, go to the to get a variation for like FAR. That would be something that would be allowed under these alternative zoning regulations.
Got it.
So that outlined it pretty well. There's a lot of information that Bethany put together in this.
Yeah.
Just to kind of boil it down.
And I will note, it was in the packet that when we established the Historic Overlay District, it was anticipated that there would be very unique cases that would come forward where the Historic Overlay District alternative zoning regulations wouldn't be able to cover everything and prevent every single variation from coming forward. So we did amend the variation standards in the zoning code to give a little bit more leeway for projects like this, so that, the Zoning Board of Appeals can have an additional factor to consider when they look through is this a hardship? Is this a case where a variation should be approved? So that language we did put in the staff report, so you guys could see that.
And the dimensions we chose were more in keeping with something that we wouldn't even need a variance for on a much smaller lot, like if it was R3 or R4. That's kind of how we came up with the dimension. The interior dimension of that room on the side is 7.5 feet.
Existing.
So it's really not a very usable room, so we just kind of came up with a happy medium of adding 3.5 feet or so.
And that way it doesn't go beyond any other type of, in R3 and R4, you get an interior side yard of 6 feet. So we're not asking for any more than what is granted for a lot that's comparable in size.
Okay?
All right, thank you. Commissioners?
I think this is what we want to see. I mean, this is fabulous. The house looks great. You're not going crazy overboard. You're doing what you need to do for your house. I mean, I'm in full support of this, the whole package.
I agree. I mean, everything about it is very appealing.
I like it.
This is why I passed the ordinance.
Good.
I think it works. I think when you look at this as an R2, as like you said, the fourth smallest lot, and you take that rear yard setback, that 50 foot that goes in an R2, and apply that to a property like this, it's impossible to build on. Half the house is already over. And so you're already wedged in on this property. And when you start thinking about the regular standard zoning for floor area and coverage and those types of things, you still meet the coverage on this, which I think is remarkable at that point. And I think it works. I think that's why we have the program in place. So I'm definitely in favor of it.
Great, thanks.
We're grateful you bought it and you didn't tear it down.
We love it, so.
It's a great, unique history. I won't
Yeah.
go with it, but
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Nope, I'm good. It's good design.
Okay. So, that being said, do we have a motion to approve
And
this?
can I make a clarification on the motion?
Yes, I was going
Um,
to ask you.
So originally, when I had put the agenda together, we had put that they had, one of the requests, which the HPC has the authority to approve, was a request to waive the building permit fees. In this case, this was a staff error where it should just, instead of building permit fees, just say a general fee waiver. Because when we established the Historic Overlay District program, it would allow them to have their zoning, their variation application fees waived. So they'd still be required to pay for the public notices on their own, where they send out the mailings to everyone, and, certain aspects, but they wouldn't have to pay our application fee. So this would be it would be the request for alternative zoning regulations, fee waivers in general, which would be for both building permits and the variation application, and expedited processing. So I apologize for that error.
Thank you. So we have a motion to approve?
Sure. I'll move to approve case HPC-15-2023, 24 East 8th Street, a preservation incentive for a historically significant structures property, request for alternate bulk zoning regulations, fee waivers in general, and expedited processing for the construction of a rear and side addition to the existing single-family home, subject to the condition that the requested variation is approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Barkley?
Aye.
Commissioner Weinberger?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Chairman Prisby?
Aye, motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Good luck with
much.
the variation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is case HPC-16-2023, 132 East 5th Street. Preservation incentive for a historically significant structures property. Request for alternate bulk zoning regulations, building permit fee waiver, and expedited processing for the construction of a detached accessory structure / pool house. Again, Looks like they're already at the podium. Please state your name for the record.
Joel Rafferty.
Blake Jeffrion.
Caitlin Jeffrion.
And what are we looking at here, Joel? Give us the rundown.
Hi, Commissioners. Thank you. There's an existing non-conforming playhouse in the back of this lot. It's not conforming due to its location to the side yard, so it is currently about 4.5 feet off the property line. We are proposing to put an addition on this existing structure. We are asking for the HOD incentive for a relief on that side yard setback. We are allowed to, per the zoning code, allowed to add on to this. What we are asking for is the relief of the setback between the 13-foot that would be allowed and, on a regular basis versus the 10-foot on the HOD. This is, we are keeping it in style with the house. We've tried to not add on to the house, keep the house in keeping of what it is, and this seemed a nice way to keep the bulk down and put any additions on the house by creating this new amenity space in the back of the lot.
Now, this is an existing shed.
Correct.
It's already non-conforming on the zone.
Correct.
And you're gonna also build up
Correct.
in the structure, and then the structure you're going to do inside the 10 feet afforded by the HOD is all a lower structure around it.
Yes.
I'm kind of stating this for everybody who's not here.
There's, in a way, just to keep the massing and the bulking and give some design to it, we have the kind of the middle section of it, the bigger interior space with the surrounding veranda and accessory programmatic elements of it.
Just out of my own curiosity, is there plumbing out there already? Or is this something you're running to this, or?
There's no plumbing. There's a fireplace. It's kind of a cute old little playhouse. There's a fireplace. There used to be a front porch on it.
Okay.
At some point that disappeared. Little shingle style thing covered in ivy. So
It's really covered in ivy.
we're following all the other zoning requirements of a typical non-HOD lot. The height, coverage, building coverage, FAR, lot coverage. So the one item we are asking out of the HOD is the 3-foot relief on that setback.
You're well under everything else, correct?
Well under.
Right.
Correct.
Are there any other subsequent submittals coming for this? I mean, are you guys adding on anything else to the house, or is it
No.
just this?
Just this. The pool is part of the project, but not
It doesn't
part of
relate
this
to-
discussion.
Got it.
Again, I think this is exactly why we have this historic overlay. I think it looks fabulous. It's a great way to, I mean, most people would tear down that little playhouse and you're not. And I would document it because it looks really cute. I'd love to know the history of it, but yeah, I don't have any questions. I think it's a pretty, I mean, it's already non-conforming.
Yeah.
I like this one as well. I think it ties to the house. I think it looks good. I think the symmetry of it, I think really plays off some of what's on the house, along with the arches. And I think Shannon's right. I think this is the whole point of why we're doing what we're doing with the HOD, is to allow these things to happen, so you're not having to move a shed or tear it down. And
Yep.
you're able to expand it, and you're under everything else. I don't have a problem with it.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was surprised, when we passed this ordinance, I never thought a playhouse would come up. Carriage house, main residence, et cetera. So I think it's great, and you occupy one of the 3 through lots between 5th and 6th Streets. So it's a large lot,
Yeah.
plenty of room. It meets the criteria anyway. It's great.
Anyone else?
No.
Sarah, Frank?
No, it's good. Looks nice, very nice.
Excellent. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak on this matter tonight? All right. Any closing remarks? If not, we need a motion.
I move to approve case HPC 16-2023, 132 East Fifth Street. Preservation incentive for historically significant structures property, request for alternate bulk zoning regulations. Is this also general fees?
This one is
It's
just building
just-
permits.
Building permit fee waiver and expedited processing, construction of a detached accessory structure / pool house.
Second.
Second.
Roll call
Commissioner-
vote.
Commissioner Barkley?
Aye.
Commissioner Weinberger?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Chairman Frisbee?
Aye, motion carries.
Excellent.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Okay, on to the next. The next item on the agenda is case HPC-17-2023, 136 North Washington Street. Preservation incentive application for a historically significant structures property. Request for a building permit fee waiver, expedited processing, property tax rebate, and matching grant. Construction of an addition to the south side elevation and exterior improvements. Again, will the applicant come forward, which they already have. Please state your name for the record.
Andy O'Connor and Katie Lambert.
Randy King, the architect.
I know you. All right. What would you like us to know?
Well, I guess I should start with, we have no zoning variations that we're looking for with this project. Where it actually got started, I believe, is the fact that they bought the house and could not move their bed up to the second floor. So there is a curved staircase that is about this wide and near the front of the house. And so that's kind of where it started. Our proposal, it's a corner lot. Our proposal is to do the addition on the interior side of the lot. And you can see it in the dark shaded area that's there. So what we're actually doing is adding a stairway that gets us to the basement. I should say that the basement stairway comes from the kitchen, goes downstairs. It's about this wide, and I can't stand up in the basement. So we needed a way to get to the basement. We needed a way to get to the second floor. The house, as it is right now, there's a double door front door that are two really small doors, and there's a set of doors inside those. And then you have to go through the sunroom to get into the house from the detached garage. So we added a mud room so that you could get from the garage to the house. And this is the second floor there on the first floor. So we have a mud room, stairway to go up, stairway to go down. This, we believe, was a doctor's house, and that front room that says parlor was actually his office. And behind that was a haphazard bathroom, we'll call it. We've taken that out, added it to the first floor, and redesigned the kitchen so that it's a workable kitchen, got the basement stair out of the kitchen, and gave them a place to have a table. So that's what drove the first floor. When we get to the second floor, we got to connect the two stairways, so we had to rework the second floor a bit, get bathrooms that you could actually stand in. These walls are kind of short on the exterior walls. They're not full height walls. So we added extended the bay on the south side to the second floor, matched it in detail with the first floor so that bedroom would be a little more usable. We are looking to repair the front porch. Whoever owned the house previously cut the front porch to look underneath the front porch but never put it back together. So we want to put the front porch back together. All the materials are going to match, all the detailing is going to match. So when it comes to the exterior of the house, we're trying to fit into what's there, and we're really only addressing two elevations with this. The rest is the front and the corner side yard are being pretty much left all alone. So again, trying to match scale of windows, detailing of siding, and colors.
Looks like you meet floor area ratio and all the other standards.
Yeah,
right?
We have plenty of room.
And clearly, by what I see on the floor plans, these are all things that are very necessary for modern standards.
Yes.
Not having a mudroom, right? Not having the kitchen, size with a nice eating area next to it. The whole 4-bedroom master suite, closets, laundry room. These are all kind of standard amenities that most people want in their houses.
Correct.
And again, this is another one I look at as, this is why we put this program in place. I mean, this, to me, I don't know what you guys think, but this one's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, and I appreciate that you're not taking out the original staircase that you couldn't get your bed up. Most people probably would. So, I mean, even though we don't generally have anything to do with the inside, I personally appreciate that you're finding a solution and not taking that out.
I believe the Wilkenmeyers lived here maybe 25 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Bob Wilkenmeyer and his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then why did they open
I've
up?
been through this house.
And why did they open up under the porch? You know, was it for a skunk or just to look underneath there?
I mean,
We don't know.
the floorboards are a little rough, so they might have just been checking
But
out the
the-
structure.
They're cut like 2 feet off the edge,
Yeah.
and just like in a straight line across the boards. It's just kind of crazy. Never seen it before. So,
Anyone else?
It's a great proposal.
Yeah, I think so too.
And
Well,
it-
and, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know there was concern that this house might not have survived. And it is, and now you're taking it to a place that does a whole lot to help assure that it survives, not just your ownership, but into the future. And it's an interior lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's corner lot, but it's interior lot addition. I mean, it doesn't even affect the street views. The addition obviously is very nice, based on the elevations. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, it's hard to know how anyone could object to any of this really in any way. So, it's great.
Thank you.
So Bethany, this is our first rebate,
Our second.
our second. I
The
must have
first
missed.
one, we have approved, actually, last night, the village board approved our first financial incentive, and that was
Okay.
for 420 South Park for Mimi Collins's property. However, that didn't involve an addition or anything.
Okay.
So in a case like this, we would want you guys to make two different motions. One is to reflect what the HPC can approve on its own, with its own authority. So in this case, that would be for the building permit fee waiver and expedited processing. There's no alternative zoning regulations requested as discussed. And then you would make a recommendation of approval to the village board for the property tax rebate and matching grant. So following this, they would be going to the village board and bringing their cost estimates. The one thing I'll point out is they are going to be doing some repair work to the front porch, but none of that was included in the exterior cost estimate. So they haven't included that, but they will do everything like for like they said.
Okay.
And they did include cost estimates in here as well,
Yeah,
which was all eligible exterior work.
okay.
And which I think also included the foundation, which we've discussed in the past, can be included for the new addition, yep. And they're well over what their requirements are. Just to remind everyone, minimum requirements for being eligible for the property tax rebate is $50,000 in eligible expenses, exterior expenses. For the grant, the maximum you can get is $10,000 for a separate $20,000 of eligible investments. So they're meeting both, they're well above what they would qualify for.
Great, thanks, Bethany. I see there's no public here to comment. So, anyone else want to say anything else before we move on?
No.
All right, so, like Bethany said, we have two motions. One for the building permit fee waiver and expediting process. Let's start with that one.
Okay, I move to approve case HPC -17 2023 136 North Washington Street Preservation Incentive Application for historically significant structures property. Request for a building permit fee waiver and expedited processing.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Barclay? Aye. Commissioner Weinberger?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Chairman Prisby?
Aye. Motion carries. Now, the second motion we need for the property tax rebate and matching grant. Do we have a motion for that?
I move to, for recommendation for approval for HPC -17 2023 136 North Washington Street Preservation Incentive Application for a historically significant structures property request for a property tax rebate and matching grant for the construction of an addition to the south side elevation and exterior improvements to the village board as submitted.
Second.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Barkley?
Aye.
Commissioner Weinberger?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Chairman Frisbee?
Aye. Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Don't be a stranger, Randy. I haven't seen you in a decade now, for God's sakes.
Both getting long in the tooth, huh?
Yeah, I think so. For the record, as a punk college student, I had, between my fourth and fifth year, had the opportunity to work for Randy King for one glorious summer. And he still likes me for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, exactly. It was good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so, public comments? Empty room. Let's move on to some new business. Bethany, take it away.
Okay. Let me get my other pile of paperwork over here. Okay. So if you look to the left of Sarah Barkley, Commissioner Barkley, we do have these pin signs shown. These were presented at the board meeting last night as well. The Village of Hinsdale has officially launched its Hinsdale 150th anniversary donor campaign for raising funds for the Memorial Building Plaza here out front and the historic roof railing on the Memorial Building. So we are accepting official donations now to assist with this project. And any donors that do participate will be shown appreciation by getting one of these yard signs to be able to put in their yard. And there are several different donor levels. Any donations are tax deductible, and we do have a way to pay either online with cash or check or credit card as well, that you can come into Village Hall or mail. And additional information is available on our website at thevillageofhinsdale.org/150. It's also available from the front page of the website as well. So wanted to make everyone aware that we have officially launched the campaign, and we're hoping for Commissioner Harlow's sake that we will get that historic roof railing built. So it's very exciting, and we're excited to see the progress on that, and hopefully next year we will have 2 great improvements to this building. The other thing I'll let you guys know is that last night the village board did approve the bell restoration in our clock tower. That was, the bell hasn't probably been touched for several decades. And they also approved the new carillon. So hopefully by Christmas at least we'll have some, Christmas music that's able to play off of our carillon. So it's very exciting.
Very nice.
Bethany, I know from our last fundraising meeting that there were 4 options that Scott Moore had proposed regarding the bell and the carillon. Do you know which one passed?
I
or was
think they
approved?
picked the whole package. The one that was going to do all of the restoration work with the full package. Don't quote me on that, but it's whatever they discussed as the whole shebang, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do was to make sure that restoration work was happening while also doing the carillon, because that old mechanism needed to be looked at.
Right. So just 15 seconds on this. The bell that's up there was cast for this building, and it hasn't rung in decades. I just want to, I'm hoping that Bethany's right.
I hope so. I'll double check.
So that we can commend the board for deciding that rather than just installing a speaker system that plays a recording of a bell ringing, which was one of the options presented.
Yes.
Not supported, but presented, that they're actually going to have the original bell that was cast, I believe, in Baltimore for this building.
So it's
Yeah.
being restored? The
It's
bell?
going to be restored and the mechanisms tied to it as well, so hopefully it will be able to ring, was my understanding. So I think it was the restoration. The photos, if anyone's seen them, of the bell are really amazing because they do have the original inscription and the dedication of this building.
It's fantastic.
So it's really a cool thing. And I'm trying to, hopefully the Hinsdalean maybe will do an article on the bell, and so that people can actually see that photo. I for some reason thought they put a photo in the Hinsdalean in the last couple months, but I may have made that up. So hopefully that would be great to show people that.
So this full package covers both covers all three projects, really?
Only the two.
Only
The
the two.
Bells
So the
and the
Bell is
Carillon
a
have already
separate-
been approved last night with separate funding.
So it's a separate
Mhm.
solicitation.
And that's been
Yes.
approved completely, so.
But then,
It-
how are you, how are you packaging, how is that gonna happen?
So, I mean, Bethany, you can speak to this probably better than I, but packets have been put together, and the staff has been distributing them to businesses throughout the village, not just CBD, but also, that sounds weird these days, Central Business District. Um, and also Gateway Square, Grand Square, and so on. And I know that the village has already received some significant gifts
Mhm.
towards this from businesses. I don't know the current status.
Towards the Bell, or,
The Bell is completely separate from this.
I guess that's what I'm,
Yep.
so we're going to have two separate solicitations, or how are you going to loop the Bell into this?
It's my understanding that last night the village board approved separate funding for the Bell.
Separate funding that we don't have to fundraise for?
Correct.
Gotcha.
So this donation
Okay.
campaign is just for the roof railing and the plaza.
Okay.
And that's what's being launched now. So Commissioner Harlow is correct, where they've been soliciting, obviously, the larger donors in town and the businesses. And I think now it's rolling out to everyone else, so.
But the Bell is taken care of?
Bell
Correct.
seems to be
Okay,
done
that's what I was asking.
Yes.
Gotcha.
with village funds.
And that's the beauty, is it's done.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
Right. Bethany, is there a target number they're looking for that maybe the public should know that they're trying to shoot for? I didn't see that in this information. They need 400,000, 600,000? I mean, what, is there a goal they're looking to achieve?
I don't know the answer to that, but the more the better.
Well,
So,
I think that goes without saying.
yeah, we're hoping to raise 300,000.
Okay. Thank you, Bill.
I do remember that the quotes for the roof railing were somewhere between 60 to 90,000, the initial quotes, and then there was a couple $100,000 for the patio as well. But I know those estimates were moving around based on different design options.
Right.
Exactly, which is part of why we decided not to come up with a hard and fast number. The roof railing is probably gonna be what it's gonna be, but, cause you either do it or you don't. But the plaza out here, to replace this broken East Berlin thing that we have now, is gonna be subject to some degree on funding and how much.
Right, and the more
We
you
can
raise,
raise.
the more you can
Right.
add to the plantings, et cetera.
Right. So if
Right.
you guys remember, we had talked about, it seemed like a lot of people preferred like a bluestone. Well, that's obviously going to be much more expensive than just doing what's out there right now, which is that poured stamped concrete.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the final design options will be, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the more we raise, the better options we can choose.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do know, I believe the library has also contributed money for that as well, so there is some collaboration with our other adjacent users in this building.
Yeah, the library, I believe, has submitted or committed to a substantial
Yep.
donation toward this. And they want to be able to use the plaza for some of their programs and so forth. It's a kind of a win-win.
And Bill, thank you for pushing this along.
So, one of the things that we are hoping is that there'll be participation from everybody who's on the village board or a commission or, you know, ZBA, whatever, at whatever level people want to do. But we're obviously hoping for a great participation. When this building was built, all but 2 families in Hinsdale contributed.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
I mean, it was like a 99-point-something% participation rate. Oh, we don't think that's necessarily going to happen with these. But it'd be great if we could get really strong participation, particularly with people who are volunteering their time already to help the village.
Yeah. Is there, when's the, I assume we're gonna take advantage of year-end giving. So we're going beyond the end of the year.
Yeah,
Right? But we wanna have a time to stop so we can start. I don't,
I think a lot depends on, on how much comes through, but certainly, you know, we've discussed that we might, you know, run through December 31 in order to take advantage of
Yeah.
people making those decisions. for tax reasons. and
Right.
everything.
Good idea.
Yes.
For the marketing of this, will like this rendering be large scale where people walking around town can see it? I mean, people want to know what they're giving for.
Mhm.
And if they see this is what my money could do, like as they're passing an empty corner bakery store, I don't know, like if it's in the window or so, like where will people actually see it? So they would say, wait,
Yeah.
I'm going to give, I want this.
And
my
the
kids.
same with the railing, because the railing's a little bit hard to explain. I mean, you say railing on the roof, but to see what it looked like really helps.
Yeah.
This is gorgeous, and I think this would go a long way for people actually giving. Like I'm picturing like at Christmas time, there's a big, when everyone's gathered around here, there's some sort of place where they can go and make a donation. They see this huge thing with the renderings and they go and they donate and, or around the holidays when everyone's gathering here anyway and they can see it. Just wondering what the marketing strategy for being able to see it.
Yeah, I'll pass that along. I know that they've put posters that are more simple, like something
Yeah.
like this, or kind of look more like the yard signs at Burlington Park in the kiosk there. I know they have a couple of posters, I think, at the train station.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I know that there's that. I think they're starting to now roll out the social media side of things. But I don't know if that has like the actual, here's what you are gonna be, here's what this money actually goes to. So I'll pass that along.
I mean, this is lovely, and I think if people saw it, they would be incentivized to give, especially now when because I think people's first reaction is, I already give a lot of my tax dollars to this town, but if they can actually see the benefits of it, would be extremely helpful. Or we can just go back and watch Back to the Future and see what they did to raise money for the clock tower. That's all I keep thinking of when I see this.
So I think that the social media component of it's going to be really important because the renderings are really good, and I mean, you both raise excellent points about that, being able to visualize what we're talking about. Because you don't know what the plan looks like for the plaza unless you've seen it, and at this point, the Chippendale railing's been gone for years on top of the building. There's going to be a buck slip that I think is coming with the September, maybe, water bill from the village. So kind of like we all get that slip that comes in the July one or the June one to support the 4th of July Independence Day parade, directing people to images that you'd be able to see online. If there's a budget for it, we have talked about also doing an independent mailing that doesn't come with a village bill. But I don't know where that stands. But
I
that's,
think a couple weeks ago as well, they put stickers on the Hinsdalean on the front.
Yeah. I think
But once again, it was just more of like the 150th logo, and less of the donation. And I think the Hinsdalean did a story, but I can't remember if they put in the renderings in those.
the story was in the past week
Yeah.
with the sticker, but there
But
were
no
no
renderings.
renderings. No.
Okay.
And we've talked about doing an advertisement in Hinsdalean that would feature the photo and proposed plan. So we still have work to do.
Yeah, I think putting boards, like presentation boards, maybe obviously in the train station, maybe, but not just there. It has to be where maybe somewhere Starbucks lets you put a board there, because a lot of people like going to Starbucks.
Fuller House.
Fuller House, another one. Maybe not big, but just large enough so you can see it. Yeah, maybe even all the restaurants around here could participate.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is there an easy way where downtown businesses could help in the collection process to make it really easy? You know how, I don't know the legality of it, but you know how Walgreens asks if you want to donate $1 to
something,
yeah. But I don't know if there be friendly businesses who would, the easier the better. The easier it is, the more money you get, right? But to have all of the businesses touting the importance of this would be helpful? Or Kramer's, I'm thinking, or.
Well, it'd be another, yeah. Whole Food would be another
First
too.
Fuller House.
I think any
Starbucks.
large corporate place is not gonna be able to do that, but
Yeah.
someplace like
Fuller House,
Kramer's.
good.
Yeah.
Or Il Poge, or,
Yeah.
any of those places.
I think it's real important to have a lot of this on social media. I mean, if it's running on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and there's constant promotion by the village, if that's constantly in your face, and people can see the renderings on something like that, I mean, that's gonna be plenty good between
Will we
that
have
and-
like a measurement sign or something that shows, I know we're not stating a top goal, but I think to equate it to last time we did this, all but 2 families gave. Like to somehow equate that to some type of, whether that's just something that gets put up every once in a while on social media, but somehow, I mean, that's a pretty cool thing to hear that the whole village minus 2 people gave, and you didn't want to be those 2 people this time around.
Yeah,
so,
you don't want to be
right?
black.
They were run out of town.
Exactly.
Run you out of
We
town.
need
You'll
to
be
put
blackballed.
kids on every, we need to put kids on every corner with a lemonade stand, but asking for money for this, right?
A slogan,
Yeah.
don't be those 2 families.
Exactly.
Yeah, online on the village's site, there's supposed to be, we're not doing a thermometer,
Right.
but instead we were gonna be building in sections of the roof railing.
Oh, cute.
Or possibly also do the same for the plaza. But the plaza is subject to rendering, right? So it's,
Yeah.
and how much we raise. So I have to admit, I've not looked at these things in several weeks, so I'm not sure about the status about those. But yes, there's an attempt to try to give people a sense of how far along we are.
Anyone else? Anything else? Any other new business we need to consider? It's not on here? Bethany? Anything else?
Do you want to add anything for the next meeting?
No, I think we just handle things next meeting.
Do you want me to add anything to new business for the next meeting as a line item?
Yeah, I think what John had mentioned in that email, to talk a little bit more about the accessory structures and how they relate to the HOD requirements.
So for next meeting, I will add accessory structures in the HOD, and we can kind of talk through those.
Wonderful. And then on to old business, when you're ready. Title 14 update.
I have no updates.
I didn't think so. The next item, Robbins Park Historic District Gateway signs.
So I finally do have an update on this, although I already sent you guys some of this, so the surprise is gone. We were given 3 different options by our sign contractor, Parvin Klaus, for the gateway signs for Robbins Park Historic District. All of these could be amended or changed. I did send it out for the village board as well as just a heads up to our plan commission chair and co-chair so that they're aware. This does not need to go through the sign permit review process. And our village board did give me, at least one of them did give me comments. It is a mistake that it says historical district, so any text would say historic district. That was just an error, and I think it's correct actually on one of these. Yes, it is. But these are the first initial 3 designs up for us to discuss. And these were based on, if you remember what we did last year, we had kind of sorted through a whole bunch of different types of options and different types of overall structures and kind of what we liked in terms of even the sign faces. So they looked at those and made 3 different, variations. When I had sent this out, I didn't get any initial feedback. The least I think that was liked was option B with the arm. It seems like most people did prefer either A or C. And like I said, these are all different in terms of the poles, slightly different design overall, and the sign face area. So colors can change, font can change, text can change, layouts can change. They're more than willing to work with us. And then once we have a final design that is put together, they will give us a final cost estimate at the end. And then the hope is that we are asking the village board to consider budgeting this for next year. If you remember, we had originally discussed the original plans were to have 4 different signs at each of the corners of the district. Then we had talked maybe we would want to add some additional ones, particularly on First Street, which kind of serves as the gateway to the district. So we've asked right now, given some general sign costs of how much these would cost, to do all 7. But worst case, we can always look at doing them in stages, as we kind of discussed before. So that's the goal. That will be brought forward for review by the village board with their next upcoming budget cycle. But for right now, we're trying to figure out the design. So I'm here to get any feedback that anyone would like to share right now, and then I can bring that forward to our sign contractor and bring another set forward if we want to review at the next meeting.
So I like the one that's up there. It goes with our toppers the best.
Okay, so I'm not a big fan of the second one.
No, me neither.
Partially because when you put a sign on the side of a pole like that, you have to kind of pick a direction, and sometimes you can't see around the pole, even though it's sticking away from it. I think we're always going to be better off having something on top of a pole, which takes me already to A and C, let's say. That said, I think C, the Robbins Park one with the green and the arch top and the logo at the top, reflects a lot of the things that already are in town for the village, for the downtown, the signs we have on Ogden Avenue, the signs we have coming down Garfield that talk about the downtown area. I'd like to, in my opinion, distinguish ourselves away from that, right, and still tie to Hinsdale somehow. So I also prefer A. I like the idea that it's black and white. I like the pole. I like the little brackets that come out of it. I like the fact that we have the Memorial Building cupola and logo as part of this. I like the simplicity of it.
Easy to read.
The fonts. Yeah.
My preference, I always seem to have a problem with the other two. And by default, I'm already at this one. And then I find some things in this are charming. I like the pole, believe it or not. If you're looking at that, I like the base. I think it ties to some of the light fixtures in town. I just think it works very well.
So one option that I did hear, I heard from a couple of people that they liked the black and white because it does match our black and white sign toppers. So I can go back to Parvin Klaus and ask them if there's a way to blend the two a little bit. So if everyone, wants that black and white scheme, or even a black and white and gold scheme, we can have them kind of change this sign face but keep the overall design that they have here. So that's also another option.
The only thing I would add to my commentary is that the sign toppers that we have currently have a little curved corner at the top. That may be something along those lines. There you go.
This is that packet.
Something that,
Share this around because it also has our other signage in here. I apologize, I don't have this, but this is what we had put together from last year, so you can send that around. And the other pages do that.
so I'm wondering if that design for the top edges should get incorporated in this somehow.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But other than that, it's the same color, it's generally the same font.
Yeah, this
It's a great idea.
And if we did that, I think, in my opinion, it's done.
Yeah.
I don't get the final vote.
And so just to clarify, incorporate that maybe into option C or option A?
Option A.
Option A.
Same color, same pole, same everything, just change that top to
Kind of
be
the
more
indent.
reflective of the sign toppers. That way, when you enter in the district, it all ties together.
Cohesive, yeah.
This is nitpicky. I just wonder, Jim, thinking about your comment regarding the light fixtures in the business district, I wonder if the post should be fluted as proposed in the third option as opposed to smooth, or if that's too busy and we just
I don't think it's too busy.
Like this
No, I don't think it's busy. I think it'll be, that's traditional, yeah.
It brings a level of consistency to the downtown that I like.
So Bethany,
Okay.
so maybe all we're saying is we like option A, but we like the same sort of top that's on the toppers
Mhm.
and a fluted rather than a smooth post. And obviously it's historic rather than historical.
Yep.
Is that?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to summarize.
No, I think so.
So I will go back to them with those changes. Is everyone okay with this font in general as well?
It's the same font, correct?
I think so.
For the most part?
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I was looking at option C,
Yeah,
and I
this is
think
identical.
some of this font was a little too narrow to read if this was actually
Yes, I agree.
done. So,
That's,
Thanks.
that's the best one.
Yeah, this works. Yeah, I agree.
okay. Okay. So I'll have them go back, make those changes, and then what we can do is at the next meeting, I'll see hopefully that they can bring those changes forward, and then we'll go from there and see if there's any other changes we'd want.
Wonderful.
Okay. And if you guys think of anything else in the meantime, there is a potential that we might not have an October meeting simply because we don't have any cases ready yet. So this could go to November, so if there's anything else in the next month or two, you're more than welcome to email me if you see something in the wild that you might want them to look at. Okay. Great.
Okay, last item under old business. Bill's project, 6th Street. Bethany, we have an update on that, or Bill? You have something?
I have no updates.
I am-
I know that village staff has just been working behind the scenes to look into different options.
Yeah, I don't know anything further either, except that I believe that Kathleen said that, I'm forgetting the name of the grant. There's some grant that I guess has been applied for. That's really unhelpful when I can't even think of the name. OSLAD or something like that? I don't remember.
I'm blanking as well, but it does
Um,
start with an A, I believe.
Okay, but it seemed like that was, it's part of the nation's infrastructure bill, is my understanding.
ARPA funds.
Thank you, ARPA
Yep.
funds. So it's just like a crazy amount of money. Not necessarily for Hinsdale, but Illinois gets hundreds of millions of dollars. So apparently, because it's $1 trillion bill. So hopefully that would seem to cover 6th Street for 4 blocks.
Sure.
So I'm just bringing that up because I really hope that that's being pursued formally as opposed to just talked about. And it sounded like Kathleen was planning to do that, but again, I've been out of the loop for several weeks, so I don't know the status of that.
Yes, I know they are still working behind the scenes to see about funding, and I know we talked at the last meeting, even they were gonna look further into the SSA option as well, the special service area. So they're doing their best to try to figure out every single option to make sure that that's covered.
Great.
Thanks, Bethany. Anybody else have anything to add? Nothing? All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Roll call vote?
You can do a voice vote.
All right, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're out of here.